Maher made the bold claim that we need more Catholic schools. Yes, Bill Maher is taking it back, but without all of that religion BS. This is a real story. The fact that Bill Maher hasn't connected the dots, that the atheism he was advocating for, the secular reality he is advocating for, is exactly what we have now. It's exactly what we have now, and this is where we are as a society. So this is a real story. Bill Maher, we need more Catholic schools without the religious BS. Okay?
And finally, new rule: if humanity can impose rules on warfare, let's do something really ambitious. Let's try them on high school, because our public schools are no longer safe. For a third of teachers in America say they've been harassed or threatened, and 1 in 7 in this country has been physically attacked. No wonder 50% of teachers express a desire to quit or transfer to something less dangerous, like walking Joe Biden's dog.
I didn't know 50% of teachers feel that way. That's a crazy high statistic.
No wonder 86% of public schools have a teacher shortage. A few weeks ago, some Oklahoma middle schoolers were acting up on the bus, so the driver pulled over and said he wasn't going to go anywhere until they quieted down. So the kids immediately obeyed because he was the adult. I'm joking, of course. They went even more batshit.
Sit down. No. Sit down.
And when school officials reviewed video of the incident, all those kids were punished. I'm joking again. Of course, the kids were given counseling, and the driver was fired, arrested, and charged with child abuse. And that is
for
the
real?
root of our problem. Moms and dads used to have the backs of...
That's crazy. He got arrested for telling the kids to sit down?
Teachers and authority figures, but now their precious progeny can never do anything wrong, so it's made education impossible. And I know you're saying, Bill, what do you know about it? You never had kids.
Yep.
I know, jealous. But I know
This man, yo, get them writers back, man. What happened? What happened?
this. A teacher today looks out every morning and sees 25 phones distracting 25 kids, undeterred by any authority to pay attention or even be civil. And each kid represented by the high-powered legal defense team of mom and dad. No, I'm sure there are parents seeing this and saying, that's not us and this isn't our experience. True, not all schools are violent and scary.
I mean, listen, this is why we homeschool. You guys could feel however you want to feel about it, but like if you're fortunate enough to have a hands-on approach with your kids' education, why would you not? Why would you not? Why would you send your kids for the majority of their waking hours, now the majority of daylight hours, to be raised by someone else? If you are capable and competent and have the opportunity to do it yourself. I don't even think it doesn't make sense.
3% of U.S. children can read at a level of proficiency. If you're attending an American high school now, that's about 1/3. So I'm not surprised that homeschooling is America's fastest growing form of education. And not
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
Not just with weirdo Christian families who make their daughters wear a bonnet. To millions of parents, anything is better now than public.
That's so funny that he's taking shots at Christians while missing the whole point that the reason why the public school system is going to hell in a handbasket is because a lot of the Christians have pulled our kids out of the indoctrination camps because we're not dealing with the shenanigans.
Public education, and that includes Catholic school. You know, in 1970, only 2.7% of the kids who went to Catholic school were not Catholic. Now it's 22%.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, that's crazy.
Catholic school 8th graders are 2 full grade levels above public school kids because their school isn't a safe space for off. They're told, no, you can't be on your phone here. Up is this country that to get a no bullshit education now, you have to go to the place that's completely based on
Now, maybe it's your worldview that's complete BS. That's complete hogwash. That's complete nonsense that led to some of this nonsense, that led to some of these unrestrained, hyper-liberal leftist paradigms of the world. maybe it's not the Catholic or the Christians that have the worldview that's anchored and rooted in feces. Maybe it's the Bill Mahers that helped usher in this secular utopia that they were so fond of in their attempted takedowns of religion and faith. Do you feel gaslit? Because I feel gaslit.
What we need in this country is a chain of non-Catholic Catholic schools. And
what a complete L, man. Non-Catholic schools, non-Christian schools.
And opening Bill Maher's Catholic School. It's like traditional Catholic school, just without the religion and the...
Shots fired.
At Bill Maher's Catholic School, we do school old school. With a curriculum called School Classic. Rule 1, no phones. All day, no exceptions.
Wait. We had phones in high school, and if you had your phone out, they take it from you. That's not someone who has their kids in public school. Help me out. That's not a policy now? We see you with your phone, we're taking your phone, and we'll give it back to you at the end of the day. Or, I remember one time I got my phone taken. I was talking to this girl. I was waiting for her to text me back, and my phone got taken, and it was gone for like a week. Had my phone taken for a week, and this girl was, anyway, big L on my part. But that's not they can't do that now? Shout out to Christina, who said public schools to more kids statistically. Just saying. We're going to look in that claim here in a second.
Not just so the kids aren't distracted when they're trying to learn, but also because it forces hovering parents to leave them alone for 8 hours.
That's crazy. They can't take people's phones?
Parent, not their probation officer. Other rules include no making up a disorder that allows your kid to get more time on the test. We call that by its original name, cheating. No participation ribbons, no turning in anything late, no vaping, no emotional support animals, and of course, if a student doesn't maintain a C average or higher, absolutely no with the teacher.
Wow, Bill Maher. I wish he knew this. I haven't dug super deep into the numbers, but Bill Maher, this is a fascinating claim. One university researcher has concluded the essay of students at school is 100 times more likely than by a priest. Okay, so here is the most frustrating part about the Bill Maher situation is, number one, I don't think he recognizes the direct line between removing God and where we are now as a society. Number two, it reminds me of this passage in Romans 1:21, for although they knew God, they neither glorified him as God nor gave thanks to him, but their thinking became futile and their foolish hearts were darkened. Although they claimed to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images made to look like a mortal human being and birds and animals and reptiles. Therefore, God gave them over to their sinful desires. And it goes on to list very specific things. So our hearts as people tend to default to one of two positions, right? We want to either rebel against God, or we want to get hyper religious and ritualistic with our devotion of what we think is God, which really isn't God, because God is spirit and God is relational and God has his specific ways. And so what I see here is I see the Bill Mahers wanting the benefits of God, the created benefits of God, in the same way they worship the creation in Romans 1 instead of the creator. So you want the benefits of the creator without wanting the creator. Everybody thinks they want to go to heaven. They just don't want God or Jesus to be there when they get to heaven, right? And then now you have certain atheists that are just flat out saying, listen, if I have to deal with this God on his terms, I'd rather just not go, which is even more spooky. And this, along this same idea of wanting the blessings of God instead of trying to live your life in a way that blesses God. It made me think of this passage with Jesus talking specifically about prayer, Matthew 7:7. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open to you. So we want specific things and we're asked to ask, seek, and knock, okay? But sometimes we forget that this is in the context of a relational God. We want advancements in our education systems. We want improvements in our families. We want breakthroughs in our society. We want these things. And Bill Maher is externally processing while he's being tongue-in-cheek and being funny. He's asking, he's seeking, he's knocking. But all of this is in the context of prayer, believe it or not. It's not in the context of wanting something. It's in the context of wanting to be connected to God and therefore asking God, because Jesus goes down to break this down. Verse 8, he says, for everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds, and the one who knocks it will be open. Or what person is there among you who, when his son asks for a loaf of bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for fish, will not give him a snake? Will he? So if you, despite being evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father who's in heaven give good gifts to those who ask him? Okay, so it's interesting, the parallel here, even amongst us and our children, which Bill Maher doesn't have any children, but the parallel here is if you're praying to God for things, God is going to give you good things, but the ultimate source of said things is God. So it's not about the blessing of let me have said thing without the blesser. That is what Romans 1 is talking about. And I think Bill Maher is actually a representation of a lot of us, where we want the blessing of God. We want the benefits of what a private education may be for kids and how it could revolutionize society, right? But without the blesser, right? We want God's blessings without living in a way that blesses God. We want to get the benefits without living his ways, okay? And I think all of this ultimately should, in our hearts at least, come down to prayer, and not just praying for blessings, but praying to be closer to God. And this is why I love our Bless God prayer journals and the feedback that's been coming in from these. If you don't have one, this would be the perfect time to start investing in your own spiritual discipline of prayer. These are $25.99 at blessgod.shop right now, okay? And there's prompts that help you walk through building this discipline of prayer that I think is far too needed amongst many Christians who don't even pray, right? And so we pray when we want something instead of praying in a way to build the relational aspect and wanting God. And I want us to want God, and you should want God, because ultimately God is the source of all good things and all blessings. But we first got to get aligned with God's will and God's ways of doing things. So go to blessgodprayer.shop to get your prayer journal. If you can't afford one, if you're under financial hardship, go to blessgodpdf.shop to get the PDF version completely for free. And just try writing down your prayers and being more consistent with them, and watch what God does. All right. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you over there. Peace.